Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon. There we go. This is Joseph Conlon here for your AEW Dynamite review on Wednesday, August 25th, 2021, man. And if I still sound terrible, I have not been doing great all week. My throat is feeling better, but now I have a cold, man. It never stops. Yesterday and Monday I had a sore throat. I feel like that's good. Now I have a goddamn cold, man. Unbelievable. But you know what? Wesley's here and it's all okay because we could talk about AEW for an hour, even though tonight's show, it was an show. Not terrible, but I wouldn't say it was a good show. It was okay at best, I would say. But it'll make me not think of my sickness for at least the next hour. But dude, how are you doing? It's been 5 days since we've talked, and since that CM Punk debut on Rampage Friday night. How have you been doing?
I've been good, man. It's still mind-boggling to me how CM Punk has arrived in AEW. He's back in pro wrestling. I mean, it's just a great time to be a pro wrestling fan, man. I mean, even before this, it was just a great time. But this just ignites the fire even more. And CM Punk being back, man, it's definitely the best thing on this show tonight. Decent show at best, in my opinion, with AEW. Not a very exciting show. And it's kind of a shame because I was hoping they would deliver with a really, exciting Dynamite, especially with Punk. This is the first show he's come in, and he definitely got a great reception tonight, despite the Milwaukee crowd being absolutely dead. Milwaukee, I wouldn't suggest AEW go back to Milwaukee for another show. I mean, the crowd was just not doing it for me tonight, but a decent show. There were some good things. There were some bad things. We'll talk about that. But CM Punk's appearance tonight and that little tease he had in that promo, which we will talk about, has got me very excited. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking going into the show with CM Punk showing up on Friday. On Friday night, they advertised him he's going to be on Dynamite. I'm like, this is probably going to be the most watched AEW show ever, I think, with CM Punk actually advertised for the show. And they put a weak card out there. I thought tonight's card was very, very underwhelming. What about you?
Yeah, not that great of a card. Again, there were some good points. I mean, there were some cool moments and stuff within a few of these matches, but yeah, they could have set up a better card. It looks like next week's Dynamite card's looking better than this one. I'll be honest, it really is looking better. That's looking more like a Dynamite quality card right there. Tonight it just kind of felt like a lot of the matches were just, I don't know, there's kind of meh, it's just kind of average, kind of an average card.
Yeah, a lot of matches. Some of the matches that we saw tonight could have been matches for Dark. So, but we'll get into it. It was an okay show. CM Punk showing up Friday. I mean, listen. I'm gonna go. Let me go on to YouTube real quick. I want to talk about his ratings for the views he's got. His YouTube videos. His promo got 5 million views. His entrance got 7.2 million views. His scrum with Tony Khan got 1.2 million views. That's amazing. Even his Road 2. Did you watch that?
I did watch it.
That Road 2 episode from last night is basically 100,000 away from 1 million views. That's awesome, I think. And then the rating for Rampage on Friday night was 1.29 million on a Friday night. It was apparently 1.3 million who tuned in for CM Punk's debut. And if this guy, if you don't think this guy is a draw, a needle mover, a merchandise seller, making people go out and buy tickets, I mean, you're crazy. You are absolutely insane if you honestly think that. And I tweeted this out last night. I think where I'm leading to, what I'm going to with this. This guy, man. I mean, it feels like every week on social media. It doesn't have to be AEW related. It could be WWE related as well. It feels like every week on social media we're reading something about Booker T, and it's like this guy has the worst takes ever on professional wrestling. And this comment that he said about CM Punk on his podcast, it's August. It's late August, folks, okay? And we're 4 months away until 2022. This take, I guarantee you, this wrestling take will take the cake for one of the worst wrestling takes you will hear in 2021. So, Booker T had to say this about CM Punk and his return. And I quote, CM Punk came back and took his moment and chose to talk about WWE. That right there was just a total miss as far as I'm concerned. He struck out. I'm going to let you take this one first, man. I mean, I have so much stuff to say about this, but I want to hear what you have to say first because I know I got a lot to say.
Booker T. Good old Booker T. Five-time WCW champion Booker T. The man himself. Can you dig that sucker? You know what I cannot dig, Mr. Booker T? Your takes on professional wrestling. This little take of yours, dissecting the CM Punk promo, heavily praised by a lot of people in the community. I'd say overall got a positive reaction. But no, you just had to dissect it and take a good look at something, a little detail in the promo. CM Punk took a jab at WWE. Oh, no. No. He took a jab at his former employer. You know, the company that did not respect him, the company that treated him like dirt, the company that fired him on his wedding day. His wedding day. How would you feel working for an employer and they call you up on your wedding day? Hey, pal, we don't need you anymore. So we're just going to let you walk. How would you feel as a person? You'd probably feel really bad. And Booker T, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it you who many years ago jumped ship over to TNA Impact and cut a little promo yourself? And who'd you talk about in said promo? If my history is correct here, I'm pretty sure you talked poorly about WWE. And what does that make you, Booker T? What does that make you? A hypocrite. Booker T's a hypocrite, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first on Big Fight Deal. Booker T is a hypocrite and a moron. You took a detail from CM Punk's promo that really was so unimportant. When you look at the grand scale of the promo itself, CM Punk spoke from the heart. Because in AEW, they let their wrestlers go out there and be themselves.
You ain't scripted.
No script. Maybe little bullet points, sure. No script though. Not script. Not like your favorite company, Booker T, WWE, where they overly script every single individual in that locker room. But in AEW, you just go out there, be yourself, be true to yourself, speak from the heart. Be true. Don't be a robot standing in front of the camera literally reading off a script. That's the difference with AEW and WWE. The difference between professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Booker T, like you said, Joseph, takes the cake for worst pro wrestling take of 2021. Booker T, you did it. You did it. What an achievement for you this year. You get a gold star. Worst pro wrestling take in all of 2021 because you wanted to dissect and dip your little fingers in this promo in such an unimportant part of the promo and not really look and seek the true grand scale of the promo. CM Punk, a well-deserved shot, by the way, at WWE. It wasn't even a direct shot. It was an indirect shot, but a well-deserved shot at them because they truly didn't value how important he was to the industry, how important he still is to the industry. And CM Punk's going to show WWE what they were missing out on and why they should have pulled the trigger fully on CM Punk as the top guy of the company. Booker T, please stop talking about pro wrestling. I just can't. I can't. You've already had some horrible takes throughout the year. I mean, you remember Seth Rollins and his whole spiel about, I think it was a couple of years ago. He went on bad take after bad take after bad take after bad take, just digging his grave more and more. Seth Clownlands was literally trending on Twitter, as far as I can remember. An image of Seth Rollins with clown makeup was trending on Twitter. Booker T, I think we need to start putting that clown makeup on Booker T. He's now taken over that reign as worst pro wrestling takes in 2021 and just in general. So that's my little rant there, and I'm happy that I got that out in the open. Booker T, stop talking about pro wrestling. You don't know anything.
This guy's an absolute jerk off, man. Let me tell you.
He really wants that WWE money, doesn't he? Booker T, I bet you want one last run in the company, don't you? I'm sure WWE will gladly give it to you. They're all about putting part-timers and old folks on the show and putting them in the main event. So why not? How about you feud with Bobby Lashley for the WWE title on Monday Night Raw? Is that what you really want?
Hey, maybe Booker T should put over Triple H one more time.
Oh, yeah. That feud went really well for you, Booker T, didn't it? I'm pretty sure, yeah. He pedigreed you, and I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds later, then he pinned you, really cementing your burial even more in that feud. Yeah, I remember that very, very clearly. But, let's praise WWE. Let's praise Vince McMahon. Let's praise Nick Khan and Bruce Pritchard. Let's bow down at their feet because they gave CM Punk his big rub in pro wrestling, right? Yeah, I don't think so. His pro wrestling career ended in 2005, and now it is back in 2021. Deal with it.
Yeah, listen. CM Punk should have said so much about WWE, but he didn't. Why should he? Why should he? And when you think about it, when you go back and you watch the promo, did he really say that much? I mean, all the things he said were, I was never going to get better emotionally or physically, saying in the same place that got me sick in the first place. That's true. That's true. It's most of the locker room. I mean, Jesus Christ. You can name half the roster that is not good emotionally in that locker room. And then the other dig he took is, if you're WWE, you take this as a compliment because he left. He said he left pro wrestling in 2005 and he's back in 2021. If you listen to CM Punk say that from WWE's perspective, I take that as a compliment because WWE hates pro wrestling. WWE doesn't want to be pro wrestling. Even Vince McMahon, all those years back, when he was on the Steve Austin podcast, when Steve Austin brought up professional wrestling, Vince McMahon was not happy in that moment because he wants his product to be sports entertainment. And that's garbage in 2021. Who wants to see sports entertainment? But he could have said way more. And in my eyes, he barely said a damn thing about WWE. And for all the things that they've done to him, like you named it, he could have went off. It's not like he sat there and he buried Vince and he buried Triple H and he buried Stephanie and he talked about his year. He talked about each year in the WWE. It's not like he did that, Booker. So you can continue to shill your company and when they don't give a shit about you, and you can continue to shill your company until they unexpectedly are like, you know what? We don't need Booker T anymore. Let's fire him. And then I'm pretty sure he's going to be looking for a job in AEW. And if I'm Tony Khan, that he wants a job in AEW once he's randomly fired from WWE. If I'm then, I am like, absolutely not. I'm not letting this guy come in after what he said, after saying CM Punk struck out on his promo on Rampage. Booker T, my friend. Booker, sucker, take the L. take the fat L and go home, man. Go home.
You know who struck out? Booker T. He struck out with this horrible take. Not CM Punk, Booker T. Remember, folks, Booker T is the one who struck out.
At the end of the day, folks, Booker T is a jerk. Booker T's a jerk off, and don't take anything that he says anymore to be serious. Okay, let's just put that to bed. Anything that Booker T says about AEW, about WWE, don't take it serious anymore because this guy clearly is clueless, and that's all I got. That's all we gotta say. That's all we gotta say. But we thank you guys for joining us tonight. We're here to talk about Dynamite live from dead Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because since AEW came back on the road, this was probably the worst crowd AEW has had. In a very, can you really name a bad crowd AEW's ever had?
Not that I can remember.
Nah, not that I can remember as well. And I think this is probably it. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And maybe it's because they didn't have a good card tonight. I don't know, but it just really was not that good of a crowd. But we're going to get into the show in just a moment. But before we do that, we got some videos to promote. We got some reviews to promote. If you have not already, be sure to check out the All Out. I'm getting ahead of myself, man. The CM Punk reaction video, almost at 300 views. Thank you guys so very much for that. That's a great number. Me, Wesley, and Cameron, very happy with that number. So be sure to go ahead and check that one out. We got more CM Punk talk along with SummerSlam, NXT TakeOver 36. Way over 100 views. Thank you guys for that. And we got, of course, we got Monday Night Raw. So, yeah. And me, Wes, and Cameron will be back Friday night on the channel to talk about Rampage. We'll talk about the card in a little bit. Looks all right. And the show was actually taped. If you did you know that?
I did know that.
So we're getting the same dead crowd Friday night that we got tonight.
Well, at least we'll have an hour of pro wrestling to enjoy, I guess. So.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into the show, shall we? We open up tonight. First off, just wanted to point out there when AEW did the opening graphics like they do every Wednesday, CM Punk was the first wrestler on that graphic, so AEW was very quick on that one, man. So shout out to that. We opened up with Orange Cassidy against Matt Hardy tonight. I loved the altercation they had before in the beginning of the match when Matt Hardy went delete and Orange Cassidy kicked him in the shin. They did it over and over and over again. This match was pretty good. Orange Cassidy, highlight of the match, Orange Cassidy did a crossbody on Matt Hardy and he landed right on his face. And Matt Hardy started to bleed buckets in that ring from Orange Cassidy. Man, I didn't know my guy was that violent, dude.
Yeah, man. Orange Cassidy, you get him going, man. He flips that switch, just the flip of a switch, and he's just violent. He's blood orange by that point.
Oh man, I remember that blood Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy.
That's a great moment, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then so we got Matt Hardy down after a DDT, and he starts doing lazy deletes. That was funny. He tried to go for a twist of fate. Matt Hardy hit him with a side effect. He tried to go for his own twist of fate. Cassidy countered it, rolled up Matt Hardy, and he got the win over Matt Hardy in a good opening match to open up Dynamite. What'd you think of this match?
I thought this was fun. I thought this was a fun way to open the show. I mean, you can clearly tell both guys were just, they were living up their gimmicks and they were really utilizing that throughout the match. That crossbody from Cassidy, very, very nasty. I knew right after he landed on him that something did not land right. I mean, because he landed directly on his face. You could see it clear as day. And so, but I'm happy Matt Hardy was, he was still well enough to finish the match. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. Some people said it might be a broken nose. Hopefully, it won't be that serious, but I'm sure Matt Hardy will still be able to go some more in the ring. But man, for a guy who's 46 years old now, man, Matt Hardy can still go to good levels. So this was fun for what it was. What I'm not too fond of is that this feud is still continuing next week. We got Orange Cassidy and Jack Evans one-on-one. I don't really understand what the end game is really here with HFO and the Best Friends. I felt like this match was kind of the end. I felt like it should have been the end, but we're continuing it next week. So not really fond of that. I don't know what the end game is of this whole entire feud. I mean, I imagine Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends are going to prevail, but again, what's the whole point? Like, what is this all leading to? You know?
I don't know. I want to see Orange Cassidy in more meaningful stuff. He's more useful and he's better than this. And I don't know, man. This HFO stuff, they're not my cup of tea. I'm not feeling it with them. But they have no heat at all. I'm not feeling it, man. Get them off. You know, get Orange Cassidy away from these guys, and I will get less HFO on Dynamite, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the whole point of HFO. I know Matt Hardy's grooming the younger talent, but I look at like guys like Private Party. They have cooled off significantly before they even turned heel and stuff. I mean, like Private Party are just two guys I'd rather see as baby faces. Like seeing them as heels is still weird to me. Like I just don't see these two guys as heels, and it's not really getting over well with the crowd. I feel like the crowd was super into Private Party before they turned heel and everything, but once they turned heel and they started doing this HFO stuff, people really just don't really care about them, and it's a shame because Private Party are one of the best tag teams you got in this entire division, and they should be put in some high caliber situations. Now they did face Jurassic Express in a tag team eliminator this past Friday on Rampage, so that was a big match for them, but still, I mean, they're not involved in anything important, and I mean, I get the whole reasoning, like Matt Hardy is just trying to put over the younger talent, which is a great thing. But it's just like you said, Joseph, they don't have no heat. No one really cares about this whole faction. And I don't know when the Butcher's coming back to realign with the Blade, but
I was just about to ask that, dude.
Yeah, like I thought he was coming back like a while ago, but apparently he's still gone for whatever reason. I guess he's still hurt, but I really want to see the Butcher and the Blade kind of stray away from this. And people brought up them getting together with Malachi Black, and they formed some sort of faction. I think that would be really, really good. That's something I think more people would be invested in with them instead of this HFO stuff and Matt Hardy just putting over his big money gimmick. It just doesn't have that much heat. And Orange Cassidy really deserves better feuds than this because, I mean, he's one of the most over baby faces you have in this company. And it's like, you really need to feature this guy in high profile matches.
Yeah, I agree. Chris Jericho came out to the ring. He had Judas this week, so he came out to his Judas theme song. He said, "It's been a fun, historic week for AEW, and everybody's celebrating, except for me. It's been a miserable week for me. I'm losing sleep, and all I'm thinking about is tapping out to MJF, and he wants one more match." And he's been contemplating that if he doesn't beat MJF, he shouldn't be here anymore. I knew exactly where this was going. So he lays out the stipulation that if he does not beat MJF at All Out, he is done as a professional wrestler and he will start his commentary career in AEW. MJF comes out and he accepts the match and he's like, "It's cool that I tapped out Chris Jericho, but if I ended Chris Jericho, that would be legendary and a status I can claim for the rest of my career that I ended Chris Jericho." So this was a good segment. It led to another MJF Jericho match. It kind of makes sense that they had the match. I guess it makes sense that they had the match last week and we're getting another one at All Out, even though I was perfectly fine with the feud ending next week, last week. But now Chris Jericho's the story is Chris Jericho's desperate for a win over MJF. He wants to beat MJF so bad that he's putting his in-ring career on the line at All Out. And man, I don't know about you. It's early, but I don't see him losing. I don't see him ending his career this early. He has a lot of gas left in the tank, I think, and he can go. He can absolutely go, and I think I don't think he's leaving this early.
Yeah, it should be interesting going into All Out. It kind of makes me wonder, like, if they were gonna do one more match with these guys, why didn't they just do the fifth labor at All Out? I just feel like it would have made more sense there. But we're getting one more match, and if Jericho loses, he will pretty much retire from pro wrestling, or at least he's not going to wrestle in AEW anymore, and he'll go to the commentary desk full time. But much to some people's dismay, because I know a lot of people aren't too fond of Jericho's commentary work on Rampage, but teach their own. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, it's kind of tough to call. A part of me feels like Jericho's probably not going to lose. I feel like they're really trying to build this up and gain sympathy for Jericho. That to the point where Jericho, I feel like, has to win. But at the same time, like, Jericho, even if he wins, he's still 3-1. He's 1-3 against MJF. It's like he's not really going to have anything over MJF.
It's the final match, so
yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know. It's kind of tough to call right now. I mean, I could see MJF winning. I could see Jericho winning. So I don't know.
I mean, listen, MJF beat the guy 3 times. If Jericho goes over at All Out, MJF, I really feel like MJF would not lose anything from losing to Jericho at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, MJF. I mean, we all know at the end of the day, and he's going to play that up too. He's going to play up at the end of the day. Even though he beat me, I'm still 3-1 against him. I still have more wins over him than he does over me. So MJF is the kind of guy who would definitely still, play that up after the fact. But we'll see what happens. It's kind of I like the fact that it's kind of tough to call and it's pretty unpredictable because a part of us is like feeling like, oh, Jericho is probably going to win, but it's like at the same time, well, I don't know, MJF could win. So it's a nice kind of unpredictability factor, but we'll see. I know Fozzy has their tour dates and everything, so we'll have to see how this plays out.
And I did find out that the Jericho Cruise is coming back, October, in 2021. AEW actually announced a lot of events coming up. They're going to be in Virginia. They got a Florida tour, man. That makes me so excited, dude. They're going to be in Orlando on October 23rd, Saturday night. Bet your ass I'm going to be there, dude.
They better catch you on camera. I need to see Joseph Conlon on TNT. That's what the people want. Put Joseph Conlon on TNT.
Yeah, man. I'm going to be in that at Orlando show. And the week before, they're going to be in Miami, where they were at Road Rager. And maybe 50-50, maybe I'll be at that show as well. So I got a good friend down at Florida that we plan on doing a lot of fun things together, and that's two of the things we want to do. Possibly go to those Dynamite shows. So be on the lookout. But yeah, I'm excited for this Jericho and MJF match. I really am. They had a great match last week, and I think the match at All Out's going to be better. MJF and Jericho is a really good example of long-term pro wrestling feuds that don't get you to the point where you're sick and tired of seeing these guys wrestle like almost every month, and you just can't wait for them to get away from each other. This is not like a Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley situation where 4 months into the feud, everybody is sick and tired of seeing Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley facing each other every single week. This is not that situation. Do you agree with my statement or no?
Absolutely. Yeah, we know WWE's formula with things, man. They love to just really you do rematch after rematch after rematch with so many feuds that they do. And, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, prime example. I don't even need to watch WWE programming to know that. I just go on social media and I see it firsthand through little clips. And I just know WWE is just wasting their time, and they're just, they're wasting everybody's time too by just repeating over and over again. So it's MJF and Jericho definitely overthrows Lashley and McIntyre for sure.
Absolutely. So I just want to make that statement real quick, see if you guys agree with that. The Lucha Bros versus the Varsity Blondes in the semifinals of this tag team eliminator. Good match. I feel like this match could have gotten a lot more time than it did. I feel like they did not really have the time to put on what they could have put on. You could have given this time to the you could have given time that you had to the 6-man tag, which we'll get to, and then to this match here. And I feel like it would have been better. The match was good. The Lucha Bros got the win as expected over the Varsity Blondes. No one expected the Blondes to get the win over the Lucha Bros. After the match, we got a stare down with Jurassic Express. The Young Bucks come down. They push Jurassic Express and the Lucha Bros. Ray Phoenix and Jungle Boy super kick the Young Bucks. And they both do suicide dives onto the Young Bucks. So that is it. Wes, Jurassic Express versus the Lucha Bros. Awesome, I think, man. I'm really excited for this match. I don't think we've seen. Have we seen Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus versus the Lucha Bros in AEW? Because I remember they were supposed to have a match on the 3rd episode of Dynamite because I was there, and Luchasaurus got hurt and it ended up being Marco Stunt. So I don't think we've ever seen Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus the Lucha Bros.
I don't believe we have seen it either. I don't believe we've ever watched that match before. But what a great match that's going to be Friday night, man. That's definitely something to look forward to for Rampage this Friday. Unfortunately, it'll be in front of the dead Milwaukee crowd again because it's a pre-taped show. So, but we're still guaranteed an awesome tag team match Friday, so I'm happy about that. I thought this was a great tag match. I thought the Varsity Blondes really shined against the Lucha Brothers here. I think they're definitely going to be a formidable tag team for AEW in their tag division. I just really like the dynamic with these two, with Griff Garrison and Julia Hart and Brian Pillman. I just feel like they really mesh well together, and I've enjoyed their work on like Elevation and Dark over the past months and all that. But great match. I wish the crowd was hotter. I felt like this was kind of a match that the crowd could have really been into, but the Milwaukee crowd just didn't deliver tonight, so we just had to kind of deal with it. But for what it was, though, I thought they did a really solid job with this match. And Lucha Brothers, of course, go over. And this Friday night, we got Lucha Brothers, Jurassic Express, 2-on-2, in the finals of the Tag Team Eliminator to decide who will face the Young Bucks at All Out for those AEW Tag Team titles inside of a steel cage. It's going to be a great, great showdown, and I'm looking forward to it.
I don't really want to spend much time on this match. Red Velvet and Jamie Hayter. 7 minutes. I expected Red Velvet to get her win back. She did not. Jamie Hayter got the win. And after the match, they continued to attack Red Velvet. Chris Statlander came out, and she stared down Britt Baker. And we're getting Statlander and Britt Baker official at All Out. And it was announced after this as well that we're getting a women's casino battle royale in the buy-in. There's 9 women in that so far. We got Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa. I think all the names. Let me check all the names. I know Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, the Bunny, Ty Conti's in the match. Diamante's in the match. Haven't seen her in a while. But let me check. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure I get all the names correct. Come on. So we got Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, Ty Conti, the Bunny, Big Swole is in the match. Big Swole, Sheeta, I think's in the match, and that's all the names got.
I think so. I think I might have seen Cheetah in the graphic.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we got a match set up between Ty Conti and the Bunny Friday night on Rampage. I feel like I've seen that match before.
I can't remember if I have. I watch Elevation in Dark every week, but I feel like maybe I've seen that match at one point. But, we're getting a Friday Rampage. I mean, I'm happy we're getting a women's match. That's good. So,
Yeah. We'll talk about it later because right now we got CM Punk to talk about right now. CM Punk was next. CM Punk woke up the Milwaukee crowd finally. Loud CM Punk's in the venue. Tony Schiavone, CM Punk did not take the microphone away from Tony Schiavone. So kudos to him that he did not just snatch the microphone away from him like everybody else does. Tony asked CM Punk a question, and CM Punk was like, "It's too loud in here. What are you saying?" And he was like, "What made you come back into the business of professional wrestling?" And he said names like Penta El Zero, Ray Phoenix, Jungle Boy, Brian Pillman Jr., and there's one particular name out there, Darby Allin. He started talking about how Darby Allin's relentless, and he's watched Darby Allin matches, and he does not care about his body and doesn't care about what he does. And he starts bringing up if he can hang with Darby Allin for not being in the ring for a very, very long time. Is he going to be able to hang in there with Darby Allin? Can he still be the best in the world? And everybody in Milwaukee, not everybody, but most of the people in Milwaukee started doing the yes chant, and CM Punk was like, that's somebody else's shtick, but you guys might just have to be a little bit more patient. And that's the drop that Bryan Danielson's all elite, dude. Bryan Danielson is going to be showing up to AEW in 4 weeks in Arthur Ashe at Grand Slam. He's showing, and you're going to hear Final Countdown on the PA system in Queens, New York, man. And then Punk ends the promo by saying, I will prevail, and I will not only prove to the haters, but more importantly, prove to myself that I could still go without being in wrestling for so long or whatever. But the main thing at this promo, Friday's promo on Rampage was better, in my opinion. But the main thing is that he basically dropped a huge tease that Bryan Danielson is coming to AEW very, very soon.
I mean, I love it, man. This definitely was the best part about tonight's show for sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Punk, yeah, that tease, man. Man, I love a good tease. I love a good. I mean, prime example, the CM Punk tease that was going all around for so long, and now we got that all but confirmed. Bryan Danielson is all elite. Joseph, for a while now, I've been visualizing it in my head. Arthur Ashe Stadium, 20,000 strong. Bryan Danielson. The Final Countdown. The lights go out. Final Countdown hits. I've been listening to Final Countdown a lot on YouTube, and man, I'm just thinking about it. I've just been visualizing it. Bryan Danielson walking out to a stadium full of people, and this song hitting on the PA system. I might pass out of excitement, man. I swear, people. I mean, I think I mentioned this before in the podcast. Bryan Danielson, my favorite wrestler of all time. I freaking adore this man. I adore his whole run getting to the world title back in 2014. I mean, he's one of my all-time favorite storylines ever. And I just love the person that he is. I mean, I look at Bryan Danielson and it reminds me a lot of myself. I look at him and I feel like we're equal just because we're both, we're not the biggest, we're not the strongest, and it's like Punk's mentioned in this promo. I'm not the biggest, I'm not the strongest, but I have has a lot of heart, and that's why I see in Bryan Danielson, I see in myself. We both have a lot of heart, and of course, I don't have nearly as great of a wrestling ability as Bryan Danielson does, unfortunately. But Bryan Danielson, I've always related to him so much. I'm sure a lot of other people have as well, and man, what I need in my life is Bryan Danielson in AEW, but CM Punk delivered, of course, a great promo. He was the one factor to really amp up this Milwaukee crowd tonight. So I'm happy Milwaukee at least made a little bit of noise for CM Punk, so I can at least appreciate that. But definitely the best part about the show, man. I'm so excited for September 5th. It still just feels so unreal to me that CM Punk is in AEW. It's just it's a sight to behold, man.
I want to go back to what you said about Bryan. I absolutely agree with what you said there. Everybody can relate to Punk. Everybody can relate to Bryan because they're not the WWE size. They're not guys who are meant to get over in the WWE. They're not guys that are meant to be the top guy. Bryan Danielson beat the system. Daniel Bryan was able to beat the system, get himself over to the point where they had no choice but to put the world title on him, and they had no choice but to put him in the main event of WrestleMania 30. Do you guys know what the planned main event that year was supposed to be? It was supposed to be Randy Orton versus Batista. Tell me that's interesting, please. Someone tell me that's an interesting WrestleMania main event. I mean, are you kidding me, dude?
I mean, I love Randy Orton. He is one of my favorites, and I love Batista too. But that
Yeah.
was a trash planned main event, and I'm so happy we didn't end up getting it. Could you imagine WrestleMania 30 capping off with Orton and Batista to finish the whole pay per view? I mean, it would have been a natural disaster. But I mean, we could have gotten a catastrophic main event scene at WrestleMania 30, but thankfully WWE ended that show the right way by having Daniel Bryan overcome all the odds and become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And what a moment it was, man. I still look back at that moment and I just think, man, one of the best moments ever. And not just only in WrestleMania history, but WWE history, pro wrestling history,
We also can relate to guys like Punk and Bryan because they have their love for professional wrestling and they adore professional wrestling just like I do, man. Professional wrestling is a huge part of my life, and if it is to their part as well. And we welcome these athletes into our homes every single week, and it just means a lot, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why we love pro wrestling, man. We love seeing guys, men and women, come on our screens, and we just got that special connection with them, and it especially helps when you let your talent go out there and just be genuine and be themselves. That's what we were talking about earlier. AEW allows their wrestlers to go out there, be themselves, have little bullet points for like promos or whatever, but they let them go out there and be genuine, and that's what we love. We don't want an overly scripted robot showing up in front of our television screens and literally like talking as if they're literally reading off a script, which is what they're doing. We don't want that in our pro wrestling program. We want people coming out and giving us moments, giving us characters that we can fully invest ourselves in. That's the beauty of pro wrestling. You create characters on these shows where you can really relate to, you can really connect with it. Oh, wow, that really spoke to me. That really tugged at the heartstrings. That's why we love this sport that is professional wrestling.
And that's the difference between AEW and WWE before we move on to the six-man tag, Moxley, Darby, and Kingston. When we welcome these AEW wrestlers to our screen, AEW welcomes it with open arms. They want people to feel happy and feel excited about professional wrestling again. And it's awesome with everything that's happened. Like literally Friday night, the best moment of my wrestling life was seeing CM Punk return to professional wrestling and that hometown pop. when we welcome WWE, when we welcome the WWE into our homes, and we give WWE our time every week, you know what happens? They spit in our face every Monday and every Friday night with garbage television, guys that we don't want to see, and they give us sports entertainment when we want professional wrestling in 2021. And the fact that they repeatedly, over and over and over again, continue to spit in the fans' face, it's disgusting, man. It's really disgusting, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's it's the big difference between professional wrestling and sports entertainment. I'm glad we can sit here on a weekly basis and alongside Cameron as well on Friday night to talk about professional wrestling, not sports entertainment, professional wrestling, because at the end of the day, that's what we all want.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of all this, main thing that we got out of this segment is CM Punk heavily teased that Bryan Danielson is going to be all elite. Only time will tell. Like CM Punk said, be patient, and it will come. We had Moxley, Darby Allin, and Eddie Kingston go up against the Wingmen. What was JD Drake wrestling in tonight, dude? I mean, that looked ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm guessing it plays up the whole wingman shtick. Pretty picture. I guess they I know on Dark and Elevation they were dressing up in this like silky like button down shirt, so they were playing that up. So it kind of goes along with their gimmick. So I probably won't criticize it too much, but it did look pretty ridiculous. Though I prefer JD Drake in the wrestling trunks, if you ask me. So
yeah. I didn't really get much out of this match. This match was predictable. Darby got the coffin drop on JD Drake. The Wingmen's a dark faction. I don't really see them doing much on Dynamite or on a Rampage, besides putting others over. And after the match, Daniel Garcia came in to get a cheap shot on Darby Allin, and we could be getting another match between those two. Who knows?
Yeah, this was a fine 6-man tag. And I think this was to kind of ultimately set up Daniel Garcia going one-on-one with Darby Allin, which should be a really good match. I've enjoyed Daniel Garcia's work ever since he's come into AEW alongside 2.0. I think, and the thing is, Daniel Garcia is only 22 years old. Keep that in mind. He's only 22 years old. I found that out, and I'm like, wow, this guy's 22, and he's promising. He's a promising talent, man. I mean, he has that technical background. It reminds me of just like other technical wizards like Bret Hart or like a Dean Malenko. It kind of gives me like a Dean Malenko vibe when I think like technical wrestling. So I enjoy Daniel Garcia, and I think over time he could be a pretty solid, at least solid mid-card act for AEW come in the future. But I think this was kind of ultimately to set up that match with Darby and Daniel Garcia. I definitely preferred this 6-man tag over the other one that we will get to. I have quite a bit to say about that 6-man tag and the all-timer of a feud between QT Marshall and Paul White. So I don't know if you want to go ahead and get into that, but we can if you want to. I don't know.
Well, we got Don Callis to talk about first.
Yes.
Don Callis, this man came out to an all-pink suit. Don Callis, if you're watching this, please DM me on Twitter @Colin_Joseph. I would like to know where you got that pink suit because I want to be walking around Florida in my campus wearing an all-pink suit. That looked freaking awesome.
Hey, pink's a manly color, like they say.
Hey, man, I love pink.
Yeah, hey, pink's pretty cool. My favorite color is black, so I gotta give love to the color black. That's my favorite color, so I gotta give love there. So
listen, pink. Women love pink. Okay.
Hey, if it's gonna get you some ladies over in Florida, man, I mean, I ain't gonna judge, So.
Apparently Don Callis. What was Christian calling him, a jackass?
A carny piece of shit.
Piece of shit. So basically what happened was this was to build to Christian and Omega, and the Omega and Cutler and Don Callis attacked Christian. Frankie Kazarian came out for the save, and it set up a tag team match on Friday night. We're gonna get Kenny Omega and Brandon Cutler versus Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian. So there we go. Getting Kenny Omega and Christian Cage in the ring again before All Out. I'm kind of happy now. I mean, I don't really know how I feel about the matches. Just way better matches on this card than Christian Cage and Kenny Omega. But with CM Punk on the card in Chicago, obviously he's main eventing. I'm kind of happy that Hangman and Omega is not happening at All Out because that match was going to get overshadowed from CM Punk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if I'm usually a huge advocate for the world title going on last, but in a situation like this where CM Punk is making his in-ring return after 7 years and it's in his hometown Chicago against Darby Allin, one of the hottest young rising stars in all of professional wrestling, that is your main event for Chicago on September 5th at All Out. CM Punk versus Darby Allin. I will not have any disputes over it. That has got to be your main event. Usually I'm an advocate, like I said, for world title main events, but in this situation, you got to go Punk and Darby.
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah.
Or you could go Paul White and QT Marshall. It's that time again.
It is that time, isn't it?
We had a 6-man tag. We had a 6-man tag of the Gun Club versus. Why are you covering your eyes, dude?
Oh, I'm just preparing myself. Don't worry.
we had the Gun Club against against QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, and Nick Camarado, who, by the way, got jobber entrances. Okay, the factory got a jobber's entrance.
But the gun club gets full lights, everything. I mean, you might as well give them pyro. Go right on ahead. Let's give them the whole Cody Rhodes entrance. Let's go for it. Go ahead.
Hey, you know what, dude? I'm gonna give this one to you. Take it away.
Oh, gladly. I'll gladly dissect this amazing 6-man tag team match we got tonight on Dynamite. This might have very well been one of the best trios matches AEW has ever put together because it's highlighting the biggest feud we could have asked for in all elite wrestling. Paul White and QT Marshall. Oh boy, the match I cannot wait to watch on September 5th. Oh, wait, that's right. I think I'll actually be taking a little trip to the bathroom when that match happens. Yeah. So, yeah, this match, this whole feud, let's just dive into it, huh? Tony Khan, I love you. Tony Khan, I will never speak ill of you, sir. You are a wonderful man. You have revived mine, Joseph, so many people's love for professional wrestling, and I adore you for that, sir, and I will not discredit you in any way, but I have to ask you from the bottom of my heart, I have to ask, why? Why this? Why Paul White? Why QT Marshall? Why any of this? Why? Why is this? Well, I genuinely want to know what makes this feud pay-per-view quality. I really want to know why. Why? Gun Club get a full freaking entrance. They are mainstays on Dark and Elevation, and yet they get a full entrance. But QT Marshall, who's in a pay-per-view match on September 5th against Paul White, doesn't get anything, nothing. And to top it all off, he loses the 6-man tag from a roll-up from
He got pinned.
By the way, Colton Gunn, let me mention this. Did you know he's now 25-0? Did you know he's undefeated? What in the world? Why is that a stat? Why is that a statistic? Why is Colton Gunn not fighting for the world title right now? If he's 25-0. How did we get to this point? How? Everything's spinning. Everything's spinning around. I don't know. There's so many questions I have to ask, but man, this might be my least favorite feud ever in anything AEW has done in this entire. I kid you not. This might be. I'm telling you, dude. This is WWE levels of like Oh man, and I'm not like jokes aside at this point. I know we've been making the jokes. Now I'm being genuine. I hate this. I really do. I'm sorry. this is not worthy of a pay-per-view. It's not. I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm not even. It's not even worthy of Dynamite. It's like I mean, put this on Elevation for crying out loud, man. Paul White is on Elevation already as a commentator with Shivani. Just put this match on Elevation. I just cannot believe we're getting this match at All Out. I mean, no one genuinely cares. No, I literally look up and down my feed on Twitter. No one cares. No one cares at all. This is WWE levels of booking here. I mean, why? How does one expect us to believe that QT Marshall's going into this big match with Paul White, and you have him get rolled up by Colton freaking Gunn on Dynamite? How do you expect us to care about this match when you book stuff like this? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Do you want us to gain sympathy for QT Marshall even though he's the heel? I don't get it. Like, why do you want us to care about this match so much because it's on pay-per-view, yet you have one of the challengers lose ahead of the match? Like, let's just go ahead and job out QT Marshall even more so than we've already done. Like, oh man. I'm losing my voice over here almost with talking about this so much, but I had to get this off my chest. I can't. What is anything? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. This is so bad.
Honestly, dude, there should probably be a segment next. They should do a segment on Dynamite next week or on Rampage, whatever. I don't care. Paul White's being interviewed backstage. They get attacked by the factory. And Paul White gets written off the pay-per-view, and this match happens on the Dynamite after All Out. Because at this point, the way this match should go is 1 minute knockout punch and goodbye.
I swear, in all that was holy. If they drag this out to 15 minutes on September 5th, I'm going to rant so. You thought this rant was a lot. I'm going to go off if this goes like 10 to 15 minutes at all. I will go off.
It's gonna be a classic, dude. At the end of the night, you'll be happy.
Okay. Look, you have my word on the AEW. You have my word. If this match just goes like 1 to 2 minutes and Paul White knocks choke slam, or WMD knockout punch, just like if that's all we have, you will not hear a complaint on me. I will go on Twitter and live tweet and be like, that was the best possible result. You have no complaints from me. You will not hear a single peep out of me if that is how the match goes. Okay, that is the best possible way to just do this. Just get it over with. Just like boom.
Someone clip that.
Clip that. You have my word. You have my word, All Elite Wrestling. You have my word. I will not complain at all if you just book this match to be 1 to 2 minutes and that's it. If it surpasses that, I'm ranting hard on this because it's just I just really don't get why we're getting this match on September 5th. I mean, it's like when I think AEW pay-per-views, I think big star-studded matches, and that's what we're getting overall. I'm not discrediting the pay-per-view as a whole because I'm very much excited for September 5th. But this match right here does not belong anywhere near a pay-per-view. You're expecting us to pay $50 for this freaking match. Like, keep in mind, that's genuinely what's going on. You're having us pay $50 to watch Paul White and QT Marshall go one-on-one. That's what you're telling me. I don't know, man. I just don't know anymore. This was the most pointless thing on this show. The most pointless thing you could have booked. I saw this booked yesterday, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my, you gotta be kidding me. This is on Dynamite. I thought I was looking at a AEW dark card. No, this is AEW Dynamite. Okay, you're putting this on TNT. This is CM Punk's debut on Dynamite, and you're booking this. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. I really don't.
Oh man. Are you alright, dude?
I think I'll be fine. I think I just need a drink.
Listen,
I don't
dude.
know.
We're not paying $50 to see this. We're paying $50 to see CM Punk.
Right. That's right. You got that right, man. We're paying $50 to see that. We're paying $50 to see Andrade versus Pac. We're paying $50 to see more than likely Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks. That's what we're paying $50 for. So, again, you clip people, whoever is watching this, clip it. And what I said. I will not complain at all. I will not go on Twitter and rant if that match goes 1 to 2 minutes. That's you have my word, okay? You have my word.
Very quickly before we talk about the card for next week, when is Colton getting a championship match?
That's why I want to know. The guy's 25-0, and we're not going to reward this guy in any way. Why isn't he in the top 5 rankings? That's why I want. The guy's 25-0. 25. Like, why is that? I remember I just seen people screenshot that, and I'm like, what? Just what?
Maybe,
man, it's weird.
Maybe he's going to be sacrificed to the Redeemer.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I feel like they need to make sense out of this. Like, it's like if you're gonna have this guy be 25-0, have him go up against Miro in a TNT title match. Sure, fine, I'll take it. Fine.
Yeah, it's someone for Miro to beat. So
yeah. There you go.
Yeah. We're gonna calm things down a little bit here. We got next week's card. Next week's Dynamite is live in Chicago. We got Brian Cage versus Powerhouse Hobbs, Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans, and the rematch. We got FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. I'm hoping they have a better match than they did the first time around.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, it's looking like a better card next week. I'm actually looking more forward to this card than I did tonight's card. So, and you got the Chicago crowd. The Chicago crowd, we all know how reactive they are. We all know how loud they are. So, Chicago, bring your best once again next Wednesday night.
Yep, I'm also expecting Darby Allin versus Daniel Garcia next week as well.
They probably will announce that. And hey, that's another good match to add to the card. So there you go.
Yep. And then Friday Night Rampage, it's going to be taped in Milwaukee. I'm calling it Deadwalkie because the crowd was dead tonight. We're getting the Lucha Bros versus Jurassic Express in the Tag Team Eliminator Finals. Should be awesome. Ty Conti versus the Bunny. And I believe the main event is Kenny Omega and Brandon Cutler versus Frankie Kazarian and Christian Cage. The main event of tonight's show, Malachi Black against Brock Anderson. This match lasted 3 minutes. Malachi Black gets him with a jumping knee strike. It was all Malachi Black from there. Punches, kicks. He's kicking him in the stomach as hard as he can. Hits him with a black mass. He walks around the ring calmly. I absolutely love that part. He covers him, and he gets the win. After the match, he grabs a chair. He wants to fight Arn Anderson, and he throws the chair away. At first, he goes for a black mass. Arn Anderson blocked it. Malachi Black went for the low blow, and he hit the black mass on Anderson. Then Lee Johnson came out to a dead reaction. I'm like, whose music is this? And it ended up being Lee Johnson. Malachi Black retreated, and we get that to go off the air. So this felt flat. I don't know why this main evented if something big was not going to happen. With this main evented, I honestly expected a Cody Rhodes return, but we did not. I guess he's still filming for Go Big Show, and young Brock Anderson was destroyed tonight, and I'm guessing Lee Johnson's next.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah, I was honestly expecting either Cody or Dustin to appear at the end of the show tonight, but that's not what we got. Malachi Black, as expected, he destroyed Brock Anderson and then proceeded to take out Arn, and then we got Lee Johnson coming out. So, yeah, I mean, it was just a flat finish, and I mean, I love Malachi Black, and his entrance again looked tremendous tonight. My goodness, that guy's got such a great entrance. I don't know what you do with him for All Out. I mean, if I had to guess, either he's going to face a returning Cody Rhodes or he's going to face Dustin. Those are my only guesses at this point, because I feel like you got to put Malachi Black on the All Out card. I just feel like you shouldn't not have him on the card. You know, it's just weird.
I don't think you need him on the card. You got plenty of stuff on that show as well. So, I mean, if Malachi Black's not on the All Out card, we got so much to look forward to. I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. So, I bet I don't know. They're definitely they're doing a great job building Malachi Black up as a big deal. They're definitely doing a lot more with him than WWE ever did. So I appreciate that. And Malachi, I love the fact too that every time you see him, that little black eye that he has keeps growing more and more. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I've been noticing that every single time he's appeared, that it keeps growing. I don't know what it's growing into, but I like the storytelling with that, so I do appreciate that. But yeah, flat finish. Is a decent show tonight. I don't know. I can't remember if I gave my quick thoughts on Jamie Hayter Red Velvet, but let me go ahead and do that. Match was pretty sloppy in my opinion. Jamie Hayter looked good. I like her ring and her in-ring work. I'm impressed by that. That lariat she gave to finish off Red Velvet looked nasty. I mean, that was a hell of a lariat. I love me some good lariats. Let me tell you something. There's a wrestling move that I love. It's a lariat, and when you really dig in with that forearm or that shot to the head, man, it's brutal looking. So I thought Jimmy Hayter that looked great. Red Velvet completely whipped on the moonsault. That was not good. But yeah, it was a pretty sloppy match. But Hayter looked good in my opinion. And Joseph, one more thing I had to bring up. I noticed this, but we seem to be matching T-shirts again.
Oh no.
We're
Dude.
matching the Moxley shirts, man. It was the AEW shirts before, and now it's the Moxley shirts. I had to bring that up, man. I noticed that, and I wanted to bring that up. And again, folks, this is unplanned. We literally are not planning this stuff. We match. I do believe, I don't think we didn't address it this past Friday on our Rampage review, but I do believe we were matching again that night because weren't you wearing your AEW shirt? You're wearing your AEW shirt, right?
Yeah.
I was wearing my AEW shirt as well. So, folks, we have matched in 3 different occasions, and I don't know. I think it's going to keep happening. We're on a streak right now, man. We're like MJF. We're 3-0. We're 3-0 with the match. Except we're matching T-shirts instead of not beating Chris Jericho, of course. But yeah, folks. I mean, unplanned matching. It's a staple here on the Big Fight Field channel now.
Before we go, Fuego del Sol has a match on Dynamite next week.
Yes, you love to see it.
You love to see it. You know who he's going against?
Who?
He's going against QT Marshall.
I swear on everything that's holy, Fuego better win that match. Please let Fuego win. If QT Marshall loses to Colton Gunn of all freaking people, then Fuego del Sol should have no problem beating. I'm not trying to downgrade Fuego, and Fuego is the GOAT. Let's just be for real here.
Time out. You know I'm lying about all of this, right?
You're lying. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't. Dude, they booked this 6-man tag between Gun Club and the Factory. Nothing surprises me right now with AEW, so they could book anything on this show.
No, I just wanted to joke around before we get out of here, and we are going to get out of here right now. So thank you all so much for tuning into the Dynamite review. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Comment down below your thoughts about tonight's episode of Dynamite. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from myself and Wesley Williams on the review. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Colin_Joseph. Where can they follow you, my friend?
You already know, Big_West18. That is BIG_WES18. You already know. Follow me on Twitter. I do live tweets for AEW Dynamite every single Wednesday night. Of course, I'm on here to talk AEW Dynamite with Joseph Conlon. And also catch me Friday nights talking AEW Rampage on Twitter and on here on Big Fight Field with myself, Joseph Conlon, and our co-host, Cameron Johnson. Folks, decent show tonight. I'm happy we got this review out there, folks. We always love bringing you that quality AEW content, and I'm still looking forward very much to All Out. So don't get my rants twisted. I needed to go off a little bit tonight. So, but usually this doesn't happen on the AEW reviews. As you know, we are mostly positive here because AEW delivers quality television every single week, whether it's Rampage, whether it's Dark, Elevation, Dynamite. AEW is the best pro wrestling business and all the industry right now. So don't take my rants too much to heart. I had to get my opinion out there. But folks, good Dynamite review tonight, and I hope you give us a big like, big thumbs up, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to Big Fight Field, as we will continue to give you quality AEW coverage.
Damn right, man. You folks have a good night. Stay safe. We'll see you Friday for Rampage here on the channel. Have a good one. Stay safe.